Alan,
Yes.
you have seen Wish.
Yeah, let's do this.
Wish is Disney's big animated film for the holiday season. Disney,
Not only
as we
that,
all know, is kind of fallen on some hard times. When it comes to these movies they're not guarantees anymore. Strange World. Was it Strange World?
Strange World, yeah.
Strange World. Huge fail. That movie pushed a lot of agenda, which I thought was weird. You and I both despised Strange World. I have no interest in seeing Wish and will more than likely see it only begrudgingly. Alan, what did you think of Wish?
All right.
And not only what did you think of Wish, where does Disney, how is Disney?
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get into it. Okay, so
all right, Alan, I can't wait.
First of all, Wish is the film that commemorates the milestone of 100 years of the Walt Disney Company. And man, you would think they'd pull out all the stops for that one. So here we go. We have Wish. It's we're in the land of Rosas. It's run by King Magnifico, who's played by Chris Pine. And a long time ago, the kingdom of Rosas was about to was on the verge of destruction. And King Magnifico, the master of magic, was able to defeat the evil and restore Rosas to its prominence once again. And in order to keep the land of Rosas safe, what King Magnifico does is every citizen of Rosas has a wish, a dream, as it were. Like one day your prince will come, or you want to become an artist or a musician, or you want to travel the world. This is the wish that people have, and King Magnifico says, "Look, give me your wish, because your wish will help me keep my magical powers, and that will allow me to keep the land of Rosas safe." All right, so there you go. That's the main plot. There's a young woman, a young girl named Asha, who is played by Ariana DeBose. And she loves Rosas, she loves her king, and wants to become the king's apprentice. And so on this day, she goes and she has a job interview to be the king of Rosas. And the queen gives her a recommendation. And so King Magnifico does the thing that he has never done. He's going to take Asha into the Chamber of Wishes. And you can see it here in the background. So all these little bubbles here, those are the wishes of the people. And she spots her grandfather's wish. And every year, what the king does is it's a wish ceremony. He bestows upon a few of the citizens their wish, so their wish will come true. And the thing is that Asha realizes that not everyone's going to get their wish. Some people will. It seems like maybe Magnifico's doing it for political reasons. And she begins to push back. And this upsets King Magnifico. And so much so that he doesn't hire her. He kicks her out of the castle and basically tells her that her grandfather and her mother will never get their wish. And so Asha walks off into the pasture and sings a song called Wish. And she and her friends, for the whole film, she and her friends must defeat King Magnifico and release all the wishes to all the people. So that's Wish. Okay.
Well, first of all, I checked out about halfway through your description of the movie.
Look, this is fairly on par with a Disney princess movie. There's some magical thing that has to be done. And
did the grandfather wish for an air fryer with silicon?
With silicon linings.
Yeah, silicon linings.
So, look. So I went to the big screening with the filmmakers, and here's a few things they said about Asha. She's an activist. And then Ariana DeBose, yes, she's an active, and in this movie, she learns to step into her power. So that's, quite frankly, that's what this film is. It's about a woman who has a goal to for her people to release their wishes, and she and her friends step into their power and defeat the king. So I'll say two good things about this movie. One is I love the art direction. It's kind of this thin pencil and watercolor. You can kind of see it there. The other thing is King Magnifico is, I would say, the return of the traditional Disney villain. He's evil, he's dastardly, and not to spoil it, but he suffers a Disney villain demise.
Oh, so does he die? Okay,
He doesn't die. I didn't say that.
Two quick things. One, all the villains, if you look at like Disney villains, the one thing that they're traditionally, the way they look in terms of the design, is they have hard edges. It's like very sharp corners, like triangles, right? So it's like if you look at, you can tell who the villains are because they're drawn very sharply.
Yeah, here I'm gonna,
right? And then
pull up
soft, and the protagonists tend to be soft in terms of their design. So see, harsh angles is what villains, you can tell a villain, all harsh angles. The second thing is, I have to ask, does the villain die by falling from a high place?
Look, I can't. I
don't
can't
ruin it for me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ruin it. But of all the ways that Disney villains have either, I mean, look, not all of them have died, but they all have come to some end that's very Disney. I'll just say it that way.
I'll just say, if you look at look, I think that the leading cause of death of villains in movies is falling from a high place.
I would say the majority of Disney villains die by falling.
Hans Gruber in Die Hard, Emperor Palpatine in Return of the Jedi. I could go make a list. People in the chat, I want to see your best villains that died, leading cause of death of villains, especially in Disney movies, falling from a high place. Make the list. Let's see. We're gonna go through them. Right. But now,
so let me get into the review.
Please. Sorry there, man.
Okay, this is the worst animated Disney film in Disney history.
What?
Okay, it's my opinion. Let's just say that this is my opinion. I've been watching Disney animated films for 50 years, over 50 years. I've seen almost everyone except Homeward Bound, and Brother Bear 2. Oh no, Brother Bear 1. Coming out of this, walking away, watching this movie, I'm going, the animation in this is really bad. And not only that, and really bad by Disney standards. I mean, Walt set the standard. He is the father of animated features. He set the standard. And for some reason, it feels like what the Disney company, Disney Animation had done here is they fired everyone who is a veteran animator and just brought in, people that were cheap. And this is the way this movie looks and feels. I'll start by saying, I'll show you clips here from the trailer, but the way people talk just feels off. It's like too much squashing and stretching, while not squashing and stretching in other places. That's if you've ever read the book Illusion of Life, I think, it's written by Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson, but it's the textbook for Disney animation, and it feels like they just threw it out, threw it away. The other thing is, look, if you look at this picture here, if you're a photographer or an artist, look at this picture and tell me what's wrong with it. Chris, do you know what's wrong with this picture?
No, what's wrong? Tell me.
What's wrong? The king here is in the center of the screen.
Right.
The king really should be off to 1/3 to the right, 1/3 to the left. The reason I point this out is I can go through this trailer. There you go. She's in the center, in the center, in the center. Okay, here's one where they got it right.
I see.
In the center, roughly in the center here. They got it right here. They got it right there. Here we go, in the center. And the reason I bring it up is it's just bland. It's I don't know. It's like they threw out basic art school and composition.
Interesting.
Okay, now look. Here's another issue I have with the movie. Look at this. This is Usher's friends. What word would you use to describe this picture?
Just I have one word pops into my head.
Yeah.
I'm gonna one word, and it starts with a D, and it's not what you think. It's diversity. Diversity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's part of it. Look, this is a magical land. I'm okay with diverse, but
yeah, I mean, who cares?
But the thing is, to me, this picture is bland.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, just look at where's your eye go? The reason why a character or a main subject is off to the left or to the right by a third is because it forces your eye to look around that screen and see the full picture, as opposed to if it's right in the center, you're locked in and you're not looking around. This one here, they're barely lit compared to the background, so they don't really stand out. They're not really doing anything, and quite frankly, this is her gang. They don't appear in a whole lot of the movie. Of course, they're part of the big ending, but I can't tell you a single name. Look how they're going. So he has a big nose. He's tall. He's short. But other than that, there's nothing really remarkable about these characters. It just feels bland.
Well, I mean, just upon looking, I'd say Big Nose is probably my favorite. I'm just, whatever.
Yeah, and I'm struggling to remember what he did in the movie. I remember the little guy here. He was kind of the grumpy of the troop. This is the one on the left here. She is disabled, and she is Ash's best friend. She's probably
is she in a wheel? I don't see anyone in a wheelchair.
She has a crutch.
Disney, another Disney fail.
Yeah,
sorry.
The one in the back here, the girl in the back, she's an introvert. That's her big character. But it's just like I said, I can't remember a single name. I think Dahlia is the one on the left. I think that's the only name I remember. Now, this is a Disney musical, and I will say it over and over again. Disney hire Broadway composers to write your music. Howard Ashman, Alan Menken, the Kristen and Robert Lopez, Lin-Manuel Miranda. They know how to write catchy tunes. They know how to propel a story in their song, and they know how to make a song memorable. So everyone knows "Let It Go," but the Wish song here, I know the chorus, and that's about it. I don't know anything else. There's not a single catchy tune here. And look, I'm not gonna say that the music was bad. It's not a musical. The songs here are more like reflections. Like someone wrote down their thoughts in a journal, and then put that journal to music. There's this whole setup in the beginning where they introduce Rosas to everybody, and I don't remember the song. I don't exactly remember the basic plot point of Rosas. That's what I get. But when you look at Beauty and the Beast, when you look at Encanto, those are Broadway opening numbers. You remember it. It brings excitement. It sets the tone. And this one doesn't have it. To me, I think the biggest crime here, though, it has to be the animation, because this does not feel like a product that Walt Disney himself would be proud of. Because look, I'll go on. Look, here's a medium shot. There's a medium shot. Here's a bit of a close-up. This is about as wide as the movie gets.
It just doesn't feel epic in scope. And I've seen the trailer, and nothing about it grabbed me. And I'll say this: I have seen movie trailers where within the first 10 seconds, you get like a taste of what the story is, what the character journey is going to be for the protagonist, and I'm just sucked in. I gotta see it. I have to see it.
But look, medium shot. I mean, this is how you film a stage play. You have 3D animation. You don't have to do a stage play.
You can put the camera anywhere. You can literally put the camera anywhere.
Right. Look again. I mean, look. This. Where was it? I was gonna say that wide shot. Oh yeah, this one here, the medium shot here. Sorry, I'm getting my shots mixed up. But this is a scene from a Food Network television show.
Oh my God, it totally is. But what it does is it shows you, okay, the early Disney animators and artists, they were
Mhm.
inspired by, what were they inspired by? Art. They were
Yeah.
inspired by like fine art in the world. They were inspired by classic literature. This Wish is inspired by Disney stuff and what people experience. That's why I think um the new generation of corporate like artists, they're not bringing anything new to the table. This just looks
Yeah.
very
No,
boring in
this
the
is
way it's filmed.
this is a step backwards. It is a step far backwards. They're showing you the best of the animation. You watch the movie, I don't know if you remember Hunchback of Notre Dame, but in the
Yeah,
background of the crowd shots, those were computer animated and they acted computer animated. And
right,
we forgave it because we knew the technology wasn't there. And we
right,
also knew that they were just background characters. In
yeah,
this one, it seems like everyone moves that way in this kind of non-natural way. Um, when you look at Beauty and the Beast, when you look at the classic films of Disney, Disney first started basically rotoscoping his animated films. He'd film someone and then animate over it, and then it just became broader and broader to these just sweeping movements. And this one just feels like a step back. I mean, I have to say that this image is indicative of what most of the film is, and it is I just can't imagine Walt saying, this is how we do it at Disney Animation. Um, and it's
I
like,
mean, is it just easier because they don't have to animate the bottom half like
no,
puppets in a
oh
way?
yeah,
Like,
there's a scene where they're I think Magnifico is riding a horse, and you don't even see the bottom half of the horse, and so it's just him.
I mean,
And I'm like, wow, because Walt would have actually animated the full horse.
well,
Uh,
this looks like a director problem, is what this is. This is more.
yeah.
This is on the director,
Mhm.
or a lot of these animated movies have multiple directors. This is a director problem, and especially when you compare Wish to, we were talking about it yesterday, Spider-Verse.
Mhm.
Spider-Verse, probably one of the best, if not the best animated movie this year
Mhm.
was the new Spider-Verse film. You know, you can't make the same accusations about Spider-Verse as a can you imagine going through Spider-Verse? And I mean, it's almost like Spider-Verse has the crime of like it's too much, which
Yeah.
isn't a terrible thing. It's not a bad thing,
Right.
actually. It's
Well,
too much. It's like so
it's
visually
not
oriented.
lazy, that's for sure.
It's not lazy, that's for sure, but this looks like it's lazy.
Yeah. Okay. So that's. I mean, this is my. I haven't even talked about the story yet. This is the look, the sound, the music is just so subpar. I mean, trolls band together. Well, band together so much better than this one. Let me talk about the story, and I'll just go basically with the hero's journey here. Um, Asha is exactly the same at the start of the film as she was at the end of the film. The entire story of her is a quest. She has to do a thing. She has to defeat King Magnifico. How? With the help of her friends. She has no fatal flaws. She has no, and this is Disney was just known for this stuff. There's every hero. What makes us relatable to what makes us relate to heroes is they have some flaw that we have in our own personal lives, and and reaching the quest means that they have to overcome that flaw. And so when we see the character overcome the flaw, we as the audience feel like we can overcome that flaw too, and therefore now the movie becomes inspiring. Here she's an activist. She doesn't like what the king is doing, and so she's going to go back and undo what the king is doing. The king's not exactly doing the world's worst thing, but we can talk about that another time. And so she's an activist and she has to inspire her friends. And there is a song that sets off the third act, which is basically your protest song. And
Okay, okay. Now that you've told me more about the story, I have no interest in seeing this film at all.
I almost want you
None.
to see it just to make sure I'm not being overly critical. But okay, but everything I've said, there's one silver lining to this entire thing. This movie, the story, the basic story of Wish, is an anti-Marxist story.
What?
Yeah. Okay. So, and I'll tell you this: it's anti-Marxist, and I will bet you $1 million that the filmmakers didn't even know it. That they just told the story, not realizing what it was. That they were so concerned about Asha being an activist that they didn't realize the broader story they were telling. So let me just set this up. Wish is the anti-Marxist story. King Magnifico wants to protect his country. He has provided them safety for a very, very long time. In fact, there's no imminent threat to the kingdom at this time. The kingdom lives in safety, and all Magnifico requires of the people's safety is that they give him their wish. So let's think about it from a political perspective. The government, run by King Magnifico, promises the people safety as long as they give up their freedom of their dreams, their freedoms. A couple of years ago, we were kind of in this situation where the government was promising us certain things, and all we had to do is give up a few of our freedoms. And this is what the basic story is here, and I will bet you $1 million that the filmmakers and the writers didn't even realize what they were doing at this point. So this movie is a mess, and I'm sure Walt would have approved of the overall message, but it's to call this the 100th the movie that marks the milestone of the Walt Disney Company for 100 years is shameful at this point. This is just, you would have thought they would put more effort into it, and they didn't. And that's
so Alan, do you recommend Wish?
No. No, I mean, look,
I want to make it clear.
The only reason I would recommend it is because maybe I'm looking into it too much. Maybe I'm being overly critical. I think what people will do, I think most people, when the review comes up and Rotten Tomatoes prints the most salacious line from it, they're going to say it was great. Yeah, the movie has a lot of flashing pictures, has an inspiring princess, but it's like it's a good-looking movie with no substance. And people will say I'm wrong because they enjoyed it, but what they enjoyed were French fries. There's no substance behind it, and that's what people who will criticize my review of this will come at me with. It was fun. Well, quite frankly, we deserve more than just fun.
Well, so it's unintentionally anti-Marxist.
Yes, it's unintentionally anti-Marxist.
Oh my God! And you don't recommend? And this is to be clear, I've known Alan for a long time now. You are like the Disney. You've been to you're like a Disney file.
Yeah, I've been a Disney shill for a very long time.
No, but like you've had an annual pass in the past. I have as well had an annual pass to Disneyland. But you've been to like the Walt Disney Museum. Like you're like a super fan of Disney. You attend D23.
Here, I'll even that whole discussion I had about composition, about the third, not having your characters in the center of the screen but to the right. Guess where I learned that? I vacationed for a week at the Disney Institute. It was Disney fantasy camp basically, and I was put on. I took a photography tour of Discovery Island by one of the top Disney nature photographers, and given a bag of $2,000 worth of camera equipment and free film, and he taught us how to take pictures, how to make interesting pictures. This everything I've said about the art style and animation here, I learned it from Disney themselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is just wow. All right. You didn't have to convince me too hard to not see this movie, but there we are.
Yeah, I gave it a 3 out of 10. And that's lower than the Marvels.
Right. Wow, 3 out of 10. Oh, is the review on Film Threat yet?
Yeah, it is. The embargo is 9 o'clock. It's there now. It's the review on the front page right now.
Oh shoot! All right,
yeah,
we gotta go.
And be honest, look, it's over 900 words long, and there was still more I wanted to say. like I didn't even bring up the anti-Marxist stuff. So there you go.
There it is. Wish.
Wish.
Front page of Film Threat, and it gets a 3 out of 10. Wow, Alan,
Wow.
that's
Yeah, that's the exact
surprising.